Yeah, I need to say, because they sent me to that place here, it's the City University of Applied Sciences in Bremen, where the M2C, that means Media to Culture Institute is. We don't have such rich opportunities like in York, but we come from a different position. The background is that we originally come from media art, digital art, and are part of our computer science program. So I'm the director of this institute, and this is Jorgen.
And I am the artistic director of Warehouse 9, which is a live art venue in Copenhagen, and I'll tell you more about this later.
We have this very nice EU Creative Europe project. It's a research on art, culture, innovation project called the People's Smart Sculpture, PS2. And it is about how people can design their city in a participatory way, in a collaborative way. So the main idea of PS2 is what are the sorts of knowledge? What is tacit knowledge that people might earn from using digital media, like gaming, like using their smartphone, like whatever. What are you doing mostly? You're on Facebook? Who is on Facebook? Okay,
now?
All of you. So do you think you can learn something out of it? Or is it just for to communicate with others or to present yourself in a sort of this public Facebook space? So I think you learn something. But do you know what you have learned? Can one of you say what you learned playing Counter-Strike or using Facebook? Yes, please. Ah, very good. Yes, of course, sure. So it is about to integrate these kinds of capacities into the project we are working on and to find new ways where people can express themselves. So also Facebook, please visit us there. And I would like to just give you a few examples about what we practically are doing. Now first in Bremen. We use containers, overseas containers. And we use them in front of the main station. And what we are doing in there is that we use them as our temporary public lab, where we really go into public space where old people, there are 10,000 of people walking along in that part of town. And we created software together with NYU and Gotham Innovative Greenhouse in New York, where people can, like a mirror worlds, where people can easily, in a 3D design, redesign their city and publish it. The interesting thing is that if we also do that in schools, that the typical young person between 10 and 15 years old needs 20 minutes in the average to learn to build a 3D proposal and upload it into a mirror world where everyone in the world can see it. But the teacher, they need a 2 days, 3 days workshop to do the same. If we go into the school or here, if we ask people in front of the station in that lab, do you think you have the capacities, you have the skills, the competences to do the 3D design and create your ideas in 3D to show others as a part of, to participate, to redesign your town? They say no. But 20 minutes, not more. And that's tacit knowledge that we would like to transform, or not we transform it. We give environments where people can do it by themselves, learn and reflect their knowledge, their skills, and create constructive knowledge and competences and skills out of what they already learned by the use of digital media. The same is with, we did sound workshops in public space and redesign workshops, but we not only have been at the main station. It's really about that these kinds of environments, I would say, are needed in many parts, in many situations, but it's always not one artistic act. It's not one software. It's a bunch of software of possibilities that are in use, that are created in context of an environment, like here temporary labs. That's from a New York-based artist together with us in our, let's say, in a poorer part of the town, in a shopping mall, they developed that lab for where people can work with the mobile phones, and they produce some art stuff out of it, and people were able to reflect their knowledge and how do I use social media? What am I doing with my smartphone every day? And if I know about it, I can use it maybe also, these competencies and skills in another way. So, but it is not only that, it also in places of real urban development in town. We build up the labs, these temporary labs. And of course, we also have now the option of being part of stationary labs. Here we opened in that PS2 project a new kind of lab in the old post station in the middle of town, where people also can learn to to redesign their town. So what we in generally have done here is that we used environments that allow to become participative, that allows to become creative in a specific way, in the way you want, and where your main capacities are. It's not like you must play theater or you must design in 3D. It's whatever you discover, what you are able to do, you can express yourself with. And we have not only this 3D software, we have a bunch of apps, mobile apps, and a lot of tools there. But also we did some other things. For example, we invited refugees to go into the stage. Some use digital tools, some not. But it was to express themselves. Sometimes it's very easy. These were people that never before have been on a stage. These were students of economics from Aleppo or Damascus. Yeah? So they said, oh, art, writing poems, or never. But it is like they know, they went through for 2 years of only using a smartphone for communication, for organized life, for being in contact with their parents, their friends, etc. So when we use the capacities, what they organized in communication processes in the smartphone, and discovered those kind of communication they already did by themselves to use it for creative processes. At once they were able to create their songs, their poems, whatever, and went onto the stage, or like here, this guy from Durban. We also have these interactive spaces and or mass participation with these smartphone pictures and round tours through the city and other things. And I would like to, oops. Do we have some sound? Oh, okay. Or to use digital media in this kind of large-scale installation. This is the real lab we are now in, that we opened, but there is a sports area in there, a fab lab in there, there's these 3D things in there, and then open spaces to work, for discover, for find out things. And we build up these kinds of installations together with the people there. Okay. Jürgen,
yeah?
I would say we go over to the Copenhagen and Christian start example.
Thank you very much. I'm Jorgen Callesen, as said, and I'm the artistic director of Warehouse 9, which was funded 10 years ago in the Slaughter district of Copenhagen, right bang behind the central station, which is quite a dangerous area, but it's been heavily gentrified at the moment. It used to be slaughterhouses, cattle markets, and stables where the cows waited for their destiny, and our performance venue is in one of these stables, the last transit. And it's now been turned into a performance venue, and we do many different things. In this particular project, we've had the ability to develop concepts of co-creation and interactive projects further. And in May, we're going to have a festival where we will show works of 20 different artists we have invited. And the theatre normally produces performance pieces. We do video-based art, and we do site-specific work. This is a piece by Nemin Dubrovic from Bosnia, who comments on the Danish immigration policies. This is Em Lamar from New York, opera singer, who is reinterpreting the guilt and the pain of Black American slaves. And a dance piece from Romania by Paul Donka. And here we see a film, 101, we did together with the Gay and Lesbian Film Festival from Copenhagen, and after which we made an installation. And this is an interactive video screening of the film Pink Flamingos, where people had popcorn and were asked questions during the film. So we do many kind of traditional works that you normally see in the performing arts. On both sides of the theatre, we have two institutional theatres who do dramatic theatre. We are more performance-based and cross-aesthetic. That means we work with all media. These are our moving gardens done by the project Core Act, who are also part of our festival. These gardens are mobile, and they've been traveling 30 kilometers through Copenhagen. So if people in a suburban council flat one morning saw a garden outside their front door when they went to work, they would be welcomed by these animals, drinking tea and asking them about memories from when they had a garden. So this is the type of work we do in the venue. And in this project here, we have teamed up with the Swedish art project Pramnet, which is practice-based research in art and media. And they are based in Kristianstad in South Sweden and work at the university in collaboration with the Malmö Kunsthall. And their approach is not from the performing arts, it's more from gallery exhibitions and fine art. And what combines us is that they are working on also site-specific projects, and the whole festival we're doing now in April and in May is themed after one of their video walks, which is called Wanderlust. And it's a video walk that is narrated by citizens. And there are many GPS-based video projects out there. This one in particular focuses on quests. You are led to go to a certain spot, and then you get answered a question. And you will answer these questions with some photos. And these photos will then be streamed back into a final piece. So it will be a collective work. And the idea behind this project is that the participants will rediscover the city, and they will see the city in a new light. And they will also re-experience and re-socialize with people they haven't seen before. So this is the Wanderlust project, and they really work in many different exhibition spaces and different other performing projects with a group, for example, called Bombina Bombast that includes virtual reality in site-specific works that you can check out. Bombina Bombast, you can see it on our website. For our festival in May, we have invited a group of artists, and we also show some of the work that we have been developing in this project over the last 3 years now, since we started. One of the artists coming is from London, Great Britain, and it's a jewelry designer and a fashion designer, Claire Farrell and Miles Glenn. And they have made a project called Body Politic. And this project comes from the frustration with the fashion industry always trying to sell things to you in a world where people get more and more anxious and get more and more afraid of each other. So they want to use their skills in design and fashion to do something that creates empathy and brings people together, and also that doesn't cost anything. So they use their skills actually to do things where people are invited in to bring their old clothes. They will upcycle it, they will redesign it, and you can, by the help of the designers, make your clothes send messages out to your friends and other people you don't know that will create good vibes in the city. And the whole idea of the project is also that there is a criticism, of course, also of the consumerism in the fashion industry, which is escalating at the moment. So that's one project. And the other project is an artist from Russia that we have in residence now at the moment, funded by the Danish Arts Council, and he is now a refugee. He lives in Berlin, and he works in one of Berlin's biggest refugee centers. And he's a performance artist and a visual artist, and he works with the sensation of touch and proximity and people's fear of the other, and also being close together in this digital age. And he's been working with people who suffer from post-traumatic stress and have been on the way and are put together and been in transit and been in refugee camps. And he's trying to rebuild trust and also self-confidence through a metaphor of plants and roots and connecting. So he's been, oops, we got one too far. He's been doing body sculptures as collective pieces, and he does many different types of workshops. And he's now in Copenhagen developing a piece that will be shown in May. And one of the last examples I will give of co-creation and how we, as an art venue, support this is Stanza from England, and he's a digital artist. And he worked with like hacking art, and he makes art out of one piece. He has been tapping into traffic lights and things that control the city. And then he's been using this information to build models and then make something else out of it. And in this piece here, the global derived, the sum is greater than the parts. It's a video walk that actually by GPS follows you on the way where you go, and your route will then be part of a bigger art piece, but it also asks you to download an app. And in this app, that's how you attract your route around, but it will also use the last 20 pictures you took on your phone. And then it will channel part of that into the final art piece. So you're asked to take pictures on the go. And as part of that as well, he will do the Binary Graffiti Club, which he already did in Aberdeen at the Festival of Light Art this year. And there he will dress up the people on the route in these hoodies. And it's about to learn people about binary coding. And you can then create secret messages in the cityscape by taking these photos. Does any of you know about binary coding? And yeah. And this is a way of sending these signals back as pictures into the system. So this is just some examples of the type of work we do.
So now, why did we choose exactly those examples? Because especially in the last one, you can easily see that it is not for, and we coming from the digital area, from the computer sciences, and from also the media design area. But why have you chosen these kinds of examples? People with sweatshirts with a 0 and 1 on their back. Because very often, that's maybe also interesting for you as people working in this theater and performance field, it's not only to use the newest technology. This can be fun, this can be create a good environment where you then, with it or through it, can become creative. But, like you also said before, but also there is a culture. Today, most of the very useful, for creative people, very useful software, digital media, etc., it is developed because of a user culture that exists. So it's not just technology as the driving force. It is, for creative people, I would say, very important what is useful. And sometimes you even can extract a methodology that is not digital itself, but it comes out of the digital sphere, of the digital culture, and you can use it in your theater or in other art forms. You can use it for express yourself, for collaboration. And because it's a part of culture and people recognize it as such. Yeah? And for example, if you would say in our project now, I mean, it's about participation, it's about urban design, urban development, what would you say? What was the strongest impact in Copenhagen now, until now in that project?
I mean, that is how...
Was it the technology itself?
No, not at all. I think it's more how we have been able to focus on that the digital technology and technology in itself doesn't make people creative. Co-creation is something different. It's something you do together. And theater making is a collaborative process. You can't very seldomly make it on your own. So you need to learn to do things together, and you need to make it work together organically. One is doing the light, one is performing, it's a big machinery. And just because you have new fancy technology doesn't make it, it's much better. And that's the same, people don't co-create or make good things together just because they have Facebook. Our biggest lesson in this is that you have to find new creative ways, new artistic ideas that are in their offspring or in the core is based on co-creation, and it can be enhanced by some new technology that could be digital. And from there you can really build something, because some people they invest millions in an app and it might never become collaborative because the initial idea was wrong. So you need to start with an idea that is maybe more artistic than technological. So that was one of the conclusions we have in this, especially in the theater.
Digital technologies, in principle, create a network out of technologies, communication processes, etc. So all people are involved in this kind of communication that becomes more global all the time. But then, as artists, how do we anticipate in our artworks this kind of networking and communication? I mean, it is, where is the stage, where's the border between the stage and the audience? Where can people become co-creatives? Is it through our complex technology, or is it only because of they know how to do it and you know how to trigger it? What is more important? I mean, you can wait for the millions, but I can tell you, Apple, Google, and Facebook will be faster than you, and York maybe as well. and no, it was really good what you said. So I'm just kidding. But I would say don't wait for that your institution, your theater company, or receives the money and to build up this technological new thing in cyberspace and whatever, and then believe that just through that there is something better or very creative. Just start to where is the audience? What do they know? Which skills are they? In which kind can you involve them or communicate with them? Because communication, that's the point. This is much in change now over the last decades. And that's the point where you should connect with new forms of creativity using digital media, or in a specific environment, situation-based, or where you use this kind of user culture or the connectivity with it. I think that's it.